Very good. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will begin the liquor control agenda for today. We have a few items on the agenda. Number one is approve minutes of the November 19th, 2025 regular meeting. We have the minutes in front of us. If there are any changes or corrections, otherwise, we would accept a motion.
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'd second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number two is to review liquor applications, and 2A is USH Fargo Ventures LLLP doing business as 4 Points by Sheraton, located at 5064 23rd Avenue South, and this is a license transfer. And Angie will get us started. Angie.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner and Liquor Control Board. So Fargo South Hospitality LLC sold their license to USH Fargo Ventures LLLP. They're keeping the same DBA, so it will still be 4 Points by Sheraton. And the license type is also the same, so we are transferring owners only here. There were no concerns in the background checks. We're looking for a motion to approve this license transfer.
Very good. Do anybody have any questions?
I have a
Bob?
question. I might be reading this wrong, Angie, but it sounds like the new owner, the corporation, is going to own the license, but there's going to be other people physically operating the bar for their own profit?
I will have to check on that. I am not.
And I don't know, maybe, I mean, maybe Tatiana would have an opinion on that. I think the spirit of the city, they want, obviously, to have the manager on there, but they want the owner of the license to be responsible if there's a problem. And it seems like there would be a separation between the license owner, which is the Sioux Falls Corporation, versus the people that are going to do the day. Because they mention in their explanation that they're going to do the buying and selling in everyday business. And now if they're, I don't know if they'd be or subcontractors or how it would be seen legally, but that doesn't seem like that would quite jibe with what the city looks for, but I could be wrong about that.
Yes, and I believe they are here from Sioux Falls, right? Yep, they can, if you want to go up and
If you want to
speak,
come
if
up
that's
to
okay.
that microphone and introduce yourself, and I would say we've had this issue kind of at our last meeting where there was 10 listed owners, and so that is a challenge. And the main concern is, so if something happens, that the city can get in contact with them, but also
Yes.
if there's a law enforcement issue, that we know who the immediate contact is. So that's the main thing. Go ahead, if you don't mind introducing yourself. Thank you.
Josh Schmaltz, President and CEO of U.S. Hotel and Resort Management. We are the entity that just purchased the 4 Points. So to answer your question, we do have on-site management that is also part of the liquor license application, Claire Hughes, who will be on-site at property and lives in Fargo as well. So she will be the point of contact in the city of Fargo and resides in Fargo.
So does that
your question.
Well, it answers the question. It doesn't answer, is that a problem for anybody legally? I don't know, because, when it comes to liability and all the stuff that comes around in the beverage alcohol business, if the leasing management serves minors, who's responsible? Is it the liquor license owner or the person?
There is no lease, so we are the owner.
Okay. So you own the bar, the funds,
Correct.
the
The
profit
liquor-
loss goes to you?
That's correct.
Okay, that's what would solve that for me,
Yeah.
anyway.
All the employees are employed by U.S. Hotel and Resort
Okay.
Management. Yeah,
Okay, that was my misunderstanding.
it's fine.
And that from the perspective, so we do have restaurants that are chains that, and we have had issues in the past where sometimes if you try to contact them, it ends up going to their national address. And so we have had issues, but I think now we've gotten most of those resolved. So now if Angie or the city needs to contact the owners, there's somebody to contact that will be in person. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so
Yes.
I don't know if anything else you want to say, but thank you very much for being here. Thanks for coming up.
Not at
And,
all. Thank
any
you very
other
much.
questions?
Stand by for any other questions?
Any other questions? Very good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. I don't know if there's any other questions, but otherwise, if there's a motion,
Motion to approve.
and do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next one is the police monthly report, and actually, the chief, I could even actually have you sit down, because there was I'm just kidding. But I was, actually, it's a reason to celebrate, because I cannot recall where we have not had any incidents, and so, anyway, I was just kidding about not having to come up. Go ahead, chief.
Well, no, I mean, there was one, but I don't, to be honest with you, I can't read it on my new IT equipment here, so I don't think it's anything of significance. But yes, I would say on a good note, incidents are way down, and we aren't really having too many issues across the board. I think we continue to refine the licensing process, and we're still working with city attorney and auditor on reviewing our guidelines. So we'll be bringing that sometime in the next year.
Thank you very much,
Merry
chief.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and we appreciate your brief report, so thank you very much. But I do think that's good news. I think that just reflects that we have lots of good owners, and I think they're working well with our city staff and law enforcement, so that's a good thing. So I think everybody deserves a little bit of congratulations for that, so thank you. Next up is the wine accessory license, and it's 4A public comments. Angie, you're going to get us started.
Yes, so I've asked a couple people today if they'd like to speak on this, that proposed this license to Steve at the beginning. We're going to leave it open to public comments as well, so if they want to get it started, I sent a draft and I put that in the agenda packet and have it in the agenda for everybody as well. So if there's anybody that would like to have, if they have any comments or anything on that, they could.
Very good. If somebody wants to get up and speak, go ahead and use that microphone, and if you don't mind introducing yourself, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Mark Bjornstead, so Commissioner, members of the board, thank you for taking the time to digest on this issue. You know, I know it's a new and progressive concept, and I think the comments I made before, I just want to reiterate that, I spend a bulk of my time traveling the country, visiting the markets that we distribute to, and one of the things that concerns me in Fargo is that there's been a lack of advancement on the types of liquor licenses that we allow. And the city and this board has been very creative on trying to work within the framework that we have. But I think that this wine accessory license is a great small step in the right direction that helps these types of businesses offer a better experience to their customers, be more competitive in the market. And the big point I think on this really is that it's not about retailers necessarily trying to make more money or take a part of the market from another type of retailer. That type of compression really doesn't happen. What you really see in these other models that I've seen across the country is that it expands the market, offers more opportunities throughout all of the license holders, so it's a win-win across the area. But this is something that customers are asking for, and to be completely honest, it's something that our competitive regional cities around us are all offering. That puts Fargo in a very difficult position where as restaurants are struggling and trying to offer these experiences and these add-on services, that in the city of Fargo, we're not able to allow that advancement for those types of business. We're not able to retain those customers, and we're going to keep losing license holders to our surrounding communities if we're not able to adapt a little bit, take small measures. And I think Fargo needs to do this conservatively, and they need to do it correctly. And I think that those items have all been built into the guardrails and the framework that's in this license. Nancy, Angie, and Steve took a lot of time to really look at this and put those guardrails in there. So I appreciate that time. And I would, just from my perspective in the industry, I strongly support this, and I hope you guys would too. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Very good. Thank you for the comments. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to speak?
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki Bergeland. I think we have heard from me a few times before, but the one thing I really appreciate what Mark said, and obviously I feel the same way, but the one thing I've been really thinking on too is, in theory, a lot of us on this side, I think we could consider it sort of a wine education as well, where we're actually doing some of the work that does help retailers with future purchases when we are, telling people about the wines, and then they want the wine, and then we can provide them a bottle. Nicole and I just talked a little bit about it. I'm not saying this would be the case for everybody that would maybe want this add-on, but I know for myself, for Nicole, you know, what we do at Drecker, and I think a lot of the people that would want this license, it's usually like more wines that people, the retailers don't currently carry, you know? So Nicole was saying, like, when people try wines at her new place, there's no place for them to buy them. I had a situation, I was at Spaghetti Western not too long ago, who, I love that restaurant, and I have no idea if she's interested in this license, but she has a really unique menu where she does only Italian wines, and they're pretty obscure, and, you know, I have a wine background, I have a liquor store, I have multiple wine locations for on-premise, and I had never heard of this one wine when I was there, and it made me not only want it, but if I could have bought it that day from her, I mean, I would have paid 3 times the price probably that I would pay at a retail, which is another part of that argument. Like, we're not going to sell a ton of these wines. I mean, we're going to be charging more than retail would charge. So, long story short, I think the wine sales across the country are down, I believe, and I think this is a way where you could try new wines and then maybe get them into your, you know, then maybe go to a Happy Harry's or a Bernie's and say, hey, I had this great wine at this restaurant, could we, you know, maybe carry it? Because obviously the liquor store in the future is going to be able to provide a better pricing. So I just think it kind of adds, I know what we do at Moongata, same thing, we don't carry, we intentionally don't carry things that are available throughout the city because we want to kind of be our own, you know, our own niche. So that's all I got to say.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? And so that's, anybody else? Otherwise, this was just an opportunity for comments, and this will be on our agenda to actually act on next time. Is that correct, Angie?
Yeah, we can do that.
So if that's okay, if you can plan on that,
Okay.
we'll take action at the next liquor control meeting as far as voting on it. But we just want to make sure we had an opportunity for public comment. Okay, so then we'll move on to other items. And 5A is special event process. Anything with that, Angie?
Yes, so we have a committee in the city, within the city, that's a special event committee. We're looking at, you know, large, like the Red River Market, something like that, where we want one application process for everything. So if they have amplified sound, just street closures, security, if they're having alcohol. This committee is looking to bring this forward to City Commission in the near future. The alcohol, they would need to mark, let's see, let me take a step back here. So it would be the event holder, they're taking out this permit. So they have to fill out the information regarding if it's, you know, someone coming from Bismarck, do they have a state license and not a city license? Then they would have to get a special event permit for the city. But if it's someone that has a city license already, then they would just put down their license number. Yes, we have a state license, we have a City of Fargo license, so here we are at the special event. So I just wanted to update you guys on that committee, if you have any questions or anything at all on that.
So I have a question for you, Angie. So right now they have the e-permits, and so we already have this where vendors that are in Fargo can request those, correct?
Correct.
And so we've had an issue with state licenses coming here. So would it be under that kind of concept where they would also apply for a permit, or are you still working on it? Or what, can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so on that part with just a special event, I guess we're still working on that part of it. Still in discussion as far as I'm aware. And it wouldn't be, you know, someone from the state coming and just having their own event. I don't believe, maybe they will, but yeah, the special event committee would have they would take out the permit for that.
But we'll just keep this on our agenda, just
Yes.
so people are aware. Go ahead, Mark, but I would say the issue came up because we had people with state permits come into Fargo, and then we didn't know about it, and like law enforcement
Right.
and just the whole thing of planning and knowing for security and all those things.
Right,
So
so,
that
yes.
we're just, would you say that's kind of what the city's just trying to make sure that we can have one policy to fit all
Yes.
this? Okay.
Yeah, and I just wanted to update you guys so that you were aware there is this committee that is going on, and that they are going to have the permit holder, they will have to have a state and city license for the alcohol.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, so Mark Bjornstad, president of Drecker Brewing Company. I can give you a little insight on what these state licenses are. They're for producers, so it's breweries, wineries, and distilleries. To get them, there is some pretty strict guidelines that the state uses for what types of events they're applicable for. The original intention is that, I think if you put the framework, it's for something that's like the Pride of North Dakota type of event, where it's an in-state business wanting to get out there and sell and sample and do those things, but they cannot be used to be the cash bar at somebody's wedding or a private event. They go through a pretty rigorous thing of making sure this is a community event, something open, that they critique all those things. And then all of the holders of those licenses that are able to pull these state event permits, those are limited in number. So we don't pay a fee to the state to get those licenses, but I think it's 40 right now. We can only use 40 annually. And sometimes they're used for places that we can do some retail. Sometimes it's strictly a sampling type of event where we're going to some sort of call it kindred days, and they just want to have a beer sampling because there's a barley grower that used our product there and they want to show off that as part of his industry in Pride of North Dakota. We go there and do a sampling, use one of these e-permits. It all falls under our state license and our liability, but I agree that it's good for the city to know who's in the city and doing this activity, but that's where those licenses come for. It's not just somebody that gets, any old retail license and is doing cash bars for private events.
No, and I appreciate you sharing that, and I think the main thing is public safety.
Yep.
The main issue is that if you're doing a sampling, you're serving alcohol, and so we at least have to know where it is, just from the perspective of public safety. And
Yep.
so it's not that it isn't supportive by the city, but it's just one of those things so we know what's going on. And it just happened, I think, where this issue came up, and so we're just trying to make sure that we have a policy for everybody. That's what we're doing. And if you don't mind, we'll make sure that we keep you in contact, because our committees, just so you know what's going on, and then we'll discuss it here too. So we'll keep it in the public eye. Any other comments? Joel, come on up, introduce yourself if you don't mind. While you're coming up, and I can give you an endorsement. One of my Christmas gift things is Glen Fargo. They have little bottles, and so I give those out for Christmas gifts. So I appreciate
Yep.
Joel for what you do.
Thank you.
Go
Thank you
ahead.
very much. Yeah, I'm Joel Kath, the owner of Proof Artisan Distillers, a block and a half from here. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Spot on with all of that. One additional item that I want to point out is that when we go into another city with these, and it's called a special event with the state also, so it's the same name, but a different meaning, really. Yeah, most of them are about 40 times per year that we can go into a different city or even within our own city. Two things. It can't be used where there's another encumbering alcohol license. So we can't go into another place like that. And then when we do go into a different city, the cities don't require that we have a license of them, like for when we go to the Pride of Dakota up in Grand Forks. Grand Forks does not require that we have a liquor license for the city of Grand Forks. Our license here is being within the state license, so they accept it that we have the state license to do that anywhere within the state. So we don't have to get a separate license for each city that we go into. We just have to show that we have the state license.
Thanks,
Does that
Joel.
make
So
sense?
can I ask you for a favor? If you wouldn't mind being in contact with Angie, just to make sure that we are doing things that are complementary to what you do and not trying to make it more difficult, but you can understand our perspective.
Yep.
But we want to make sure that we're working together.
I would be glad to help. Yep,
Okay,
thanks.
thanks, Joel. Very good. Any other comments or questions? Otherwise, that's it for today. Thank everybody. Merry Christmas and have a good New Year's. We are adjourned.